Hi, welcome everybody to another episode of the Paranormal Rangers. And today you get myself, Michelle Miners, and John Dover. How you doing, John?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Great. Good to have you back on the show. Stan had some personal things he had to deal with today, so he'll be with us next week. And, sometimes our lives get in the way, right, John?
Well, I keep telling him that, that risky stuff can get you arrested and then you're going to have to bond out. No, I'm just
right.
kidding. Yeah.
We have to have a little bit of humor on this show because, there's so much happening in our world today. But I want to dive right in. Today, we have a special guest. His name is Rudy, and Rudy is a distinguished guest speaker. He will present his intriguing experiences involving an extraterrestrial phenomena captured on his outdoor camera. And he also has a PhD in engineering from one of the most distinguished top universities. And his insights are incredible. They're not only captivating, but also grounded in his profound academic and professional expertise. Rudy's academic journey is marked by excellence. Having earned a PhD in engineering, his prestigious institution equips him with a unique perspective and complex and enigmatic phenomena, such as those involving potential extraterrestrial encounters. So today we want to introduce Rudy as he talks about what is going on in Rudy's world, but also what's going on in the world. Rudy, I'm going to let you start out with a current event that's going on that you brought forward to the team here. So can you talk about this?
Yeah, sure. And hi,
and welcome to our show. Welcome to our
Thank
show.
You very much. I really do appreciate it. And about 13 hours ago, somebody had viewed in El Paso, Texas, a unidentified flying object, and it was dark. It was particularly raining that day, and it doesn't rain too much in El Paso. And so the drainage situation doesn't drain very good in El Paso. But I'm referring to this UFO. Dozens of people had called in to the El Paso International Airport, and they were actually calling Arizona and Nevada private sector companies to see if they had anything on radar. And thumbing through it, they had nobody on radar had ever seen anything. It's a bunch of eyewitnesses took pictures, a bit falling, levitating, and looked like it was just hovering around El Paso. And this was in the northwest El Paso. And that would be considered almost at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico.
That's an incredible experience that these people saw. So having said what you said, Rudy, tell us about your background. You're not a real experiencer for many years. In fact, you're a recent experiencer. Could you share with us today what that looks like for you?
Well, what it looks like it's a new experience that I came across very, very quickly. I was not, I'm just a humble worker like everybody else. And things just started happening recently, and about 2.5 months ago. And it was just an enlightenment that I thought it was considered as something unique, but I didn't know what it actually was until I verified on pictures, got it on my Ring camera, different kind of pictures that it produced. And thank God that I had these particular cameras up and running. The only thing weird about it was it would only take pictures of the day, never of the night. I went about 1 month back on the Ring cameras. Everything was completely during the day, never at night. until I actually got a motion, and I actually put it on video and started snapping shots. And it would come maybe 2 or 3 days, and then they would disappear. A couple of days. Mm-hmm.
Well, we really appreciate it. First of all, I want to let you guys know out in the audience that Rudy came to us. He contacted myself and Jonathan through a different means when he was trying to figure out what was happening to him. So John, would you like to elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, we tend to look into these kind of cases, and we try to make sense out of what's going on based on our experience and based on the research that we've done in the past or other investigations that we've conducted. And this kind of fits a lot of the mold that we've seen in the past. And then there's other areas of it that just don't have any real explanation right off the bat. And so some of those we're still trying to tease those little ends out and see where they're leading to. All we're doing is following the evidence.
Exactly. And then when Rudy called and then we ended up calling him back, it was a really interesting experience. Before we start showing the photos of what he has captured on camera, Rudy has an extraordinary background where he works, and I don't want to get too much into that because he works on an engineering basis, and he's doing some extraordinary work in his own field. But it was interesting because Rudy is highly educated, and he was asking the questions: what is going on? What is happening to me? What is this? And for the audience today, I want you guys to be aware, not everybody who comes on our show is experienced for many years. And this is really exciting for me because Rudy's looking for answers. And if some of you are out there would like to reach out to him, you can do it through our website, nativeparanormalrangers@gmail.com, and we'll get you in contact with Rudy. The reason why I didn't say that for the very end of the show is Rudy's looking for answers. He wants the like-minded people going through what he has been going through because he's trying to figure it out. We all have to go through stages of figuring out what is this phenomena and what are we experiencing. So it'll be extraordinary to what he has captured on his home cameras and the storylines of things that he has gone through while he's been experiencing this new experiential experience for his life. So Rudy, take it away.
Well, the experience, I'm very, very well qualified in a lot of things. But it just happened one night, and I was out in a machine that the government has, and for about 15 minutes, the cameras pick them up. All our machinery, all our scientific machinery has cameras in case of a failure. And I was there, and about 15 minutes, and it was 14 minutes and 52 seconds that I lost time. The camera never showed anything, just a bright light. After about 15 minutes, I reappeared like if nothing had happened. That was the first thing that happened to me. We did pull it up in a database, and we found out what had actually happened. And it started on that basis. Then after that, I had gone home and started feeling a little bit odd. I was getting anxious really, really quick. Didn't know what it was about because I gotta have a level-headed mind. And lo and behold, one of the ring cameras just caught my motion, and I started just snapping pictures of persons at my window, and another one on the other side of the window, and they were just looking at me like if they knew me at all. To my knowledge, right now, that particular photo, I cannot. There's nothing there anymore. They had just barely. Looks like it just barely came, and they took off, and they came back. That particular photo was just looked like it was just staring at me, like if I knew he was looking at me or whatever it is. And I ran outside that night, and I opened the door, and there was nothing there. I could not figure that out.
Can I show a blown up photo of that particular individual?
Sure.
John, what do you see? Any comments?
Oh, it's definitely very strange. It looks like almost like a insect,
Mm-hmm.
kind of what you would consider a praying mantis type.
I saw the same thing. I could see, for clarity, it's really hard when you capture these images. We have to clean it up, and Rudy's in the process of doing that. Is what I saw were little wings on the very back, very clear, transparent wings on his image. You can see it. I wish I had a pointer.
And that was right next to my window.
Right in here.
Up and down window. That is right next to my window. There's nothing there, but the Ring camera picked it up because I didn't know what was going on. And after that night, my life had changed 100%.
That's an incredible photo to capture. So, John, I would like for you to expound on the ant people with the Native American Navajos.
Well, the Native Americans for a long time, especially in the Southwest, have stories that go back talking about, in the case of the Hopi, that the flood came and some cataclysms came, and that sky people came to them and led them to these small beings that had big eyes, and they were really small, hairless, and those small people took them underground and kept them underground and fed them and took care of them and kind of educated them in a sense until the flood subsided, and then let them go out into the world again to do what they needed to do to keep surviving. So the Navajos also have stories. They refer to them as ant people because the native languages don't really have any terms for just say alien. They're descriptive words that they're using. And so to say something that looks like an insect, or, if you looked at it real close, so they refer to it as ant people. But that's not saying that they're the size of ants or even bigger ants, just that they were foreign to them. And so in those stories, you have both the sky people coming, and then they're leading them to these other subterranean people and helping. So that's just two tribes. Other tribes have separate stories that tend to mirror these stories.
So, Rudy, in your investigations and talking to individuals, what have you found out? And also, I know we've got more photos that you would like to share that you've captured with your camera going outside, because it's now become an inquiry in your life to wanting to know, what is this? What am I experiencing? And why am I being visited?
That is correct. I just, one of the things that I started feeling was a lot more in tune with my major is mathematics and another one is engineering. But I just started writing things for no reason. I would fill up 153 pages in about 2 hours, full of things that I don't even know nothing about. I would get really anxious, and then all of a sudden, the anxiousness would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting in tune with more because my major is, mathematics. So I started doing odd things at certain times when I'm at work. I would have my own little book now where something just tells me to write something down, and I just started let my hand go. Sometimes they're math, they're numbers, there's letters, there's squiggly lines. Don't understand, what that is. I've got very, very in tuned, and as for what should I say, I got heightened a little bit more in my major, a tiny bit more. Than now I'm producing a lot more, and I can see myself thinking out of the box now. And,
Were you a pretty linear thinker before you had this experience? So I kind of want to bring this out a little bit.
Yeah, I was no different from my colleagues. I take my time at doing mathematics, stuff like that. I'm no different from anybody else. I am very humble. I don't expect to get anything. I just take it day by day. I'm just a worker. But this particular instance that's been going on has changed my world completely. And then, of course, that's why I reached out to you. I right now working on some kind of a book right now on. Would not like to tell you, but you all know what it is, and I don't have a clue what it is. Some of the chemicals, some of the mathematics are a little bit easy, but chemical, let's just say I wasn't the best, brightest student on chemical-wise. Yep. But
Well, you're a mathematic genius. I know that for a fact.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just humble. I'm just trying to find out, as anybody out there has been noticing this thing between the persons. I don't know if they're visiting somebody or I'm unique, which I do not think so, because I go to Dairy Queen every Friday about 2:30 and have me a Dairy Queen, cone. I mean, but now I don't even do that. I'm thinking now out of the box, more chemical mathematics that I don't even understand. And I've shown you that some of the things my mind is just completely working 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just revolving and revolving, trying to find this process of different points in the different points in the world. And I just,
John, any thoughts?
Well, usually with close encounters, and I use that term to describe, what they were saying, close encounters of the first kind, the second kind, the third kind. And in some of those close encounters, you have a history of what we would call downloads. People are suddenly gaining information and knowledge through this thing, and they don't know why. One of the people that this has happened to is a gentleman named Chris Bledsoe, who is now able to have the intent in his mind, as he puts it, and to get orbs to appear pretty much at will. And he just does this stuff just with his mind. Now, they did an experiment with him where they put him in a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage is a construct of metal wire that's covering the person. And so no communications, no radio waves or anything else can get in or out. And they had him lay down on a bed, and they asked him to tell us when an orb would show up. And they had these outside, they had these, they call them UFO DAPs. And they're little computers that are able to view the sky and tell you when something's moving up there and to focus on it and track it. And so they had these UFO DAPs set out. And in the Faraday cage, Chris was able to say, yeah, there's one that's appearing right now. And outside, they would see it on the UFO DAP, and they'd be able to see it with their eyes. And they said that there's no way he could have known that or gotten that communication because it shouldn't have made it through that Faraday cage. This was on a episode of Beyond Skinwalker that aired last year. So I've had a chance to talk with Chris. He had an encounter with a UFO, and ever since then, he actually was seeing these things. And every time he tried to take a picture or a video, it wouldn't show up. So he finally just mentally asked them, will you please let me take a picture of you, or please let me take a video of you? And shortly after that, he was able to start taking videos and pictures. Now he's got hundreds of videos and pictures of these orbs that appear. So something similar to, and these type of cases have gone down through history, all the way back to the old days, the historic times, the 1800s, the 1600s, back to the medieval times, even biblical times. So there has always been some kind of communication taking place. We just don't understand it because our science is not built that way. Our science is built on, let's look at what we can get repeatable and not the spiritual side of things. And that's what we try to emphasize, is that there is a spiritual side to this too.
Speaking of which, when you were talking about capturing aircraft, Rudy, tell us about what happened here.
Well, that was weird. I got about four. Well, you can see on the very top, there's one orb, there's another one, and there is another one close to the other side. And I was actually just, something told me to actually just take a picture of it. And sure enough, I took 4 snapshots really, really quick. And in those 4 snapshots, I mean, they're, millisecond snapshots. And the first one is like that. The second one, it starts fading another one, and then the other one, and then you see 0 orbs on it. And I could not distinguish what it was. Now I'm taking more photographs. Something just tells me to take a photograph, and in the middle of the night, here I run outside, and I take it, and sure enough, it just pops up on a regular camera phone, regular cell phone. And nothing special about the cell phone, regular. I just try to zoom in as carefully as I can. And that particular night was a really, really dark night. And that happened, just seconds. And then after that, the glow started coming down, and I never saw it again.
Now, was this the same night when you captured that too?
Yes, that's the same night.
And you kind of got this blobby gassy. I don't know what that is. What did you see in that? I mean, you sent
What
that.
I saw when I was coming across, it was coming this way, vertical up, and it was just slowly just coming across. And that bottom of the picture is the top of my neighbor's yard, and something just told me to go run out there and go ahead and take a snapshot of it. And as soon as I went out, it stopped, took a snapshot of it. Millisecond later, it was gone. I could not find it anywhere. So that's one of the things that I've been reoccurring in the middle of the night. Something just tells me to go take a picture of something, and sure enough, something appears. And well, I'm in pretty much REM sleep, but they somehow just wake me up and tell me to go outside. And as for right now, I'm still doing it, even though I'm at home on a project.
You know, Rudy, every time when I first started having my first experiences, I was directed to do certain things, and it would ramp, and I would capture video, I would capture photos, I would be told to do certain things, and it was very hard to be in that mindset all the time because you were thinking about it constantly. And that's what the experiences that I had, that I feel like you're having. There's a commonality or a pattern that happens when we have these experiences. John's been in the field a lot longer than I had. And, from a professional standpoint, he was handling the Navajo X-Files, right, John? And part of our culture, he had to go investigate as a law enforcement officer and go out there and investigate these cases. So in your estimation, what is the connection you feel to the indigenous people and the culture that you wanted to contact us and understand what this phenomena is about? I know that's a lot to say there, but it's just basically, is it a connection that you have with your indigenous folks, or?
This is for you, Rudy.
Oh, okay. Well, I my childhood was very different, and me being Italian, I grew up in a Native American reservation in New Mexico, and I just wasn't a candidate for it, so I left. And I know some of the traditions. I know a lot of stuff that goes on, the coming of age ceremony, which is practically sealed now. And I still get engagements to go because they tell me you have made it out of here. You became something. But, I've told my story to one or two elders back and went on my telephone calls, and they said that they want you for a reason. I have people in Navajo, Chinle, and some people in Sholo, Arizona. It's just, and I'm not even Native American. I like spaghetti.
Well, I'm Native American, and that spaghetti is my favorite food.
Yeah, I'm a good cook. I'm a very good cook. Usually men in Italian families are very good cooks, and they dab in everything else, but this thing has just overcome me a lot. And I recently went to the Apache reservation. I visited an old elder of mine that saw me grew up. He's about 108 now. Mm-hmm. He's kind of slow, but he still remembers me because he was, I was the outcast. I was not welcome because of, of not a Native American, but I grew into the people's hearts because I'm very cheerful. I am a giving. I'll do anything to help anybody. But this time, he just tells me, you were picked out for a reason. Another person tells me the same thing. But this reason I don't understand because I'm in scientific. So my scientific brain is thinking, okay, let's come to a conclusion, but the conclusion is not there. And some of the things that I've got is old Native American blankets that they woven for me to, keep, because I had a wood stove and to keep me warm during the winter, So you have to buy chopped wood about this big to put in a little wood stove this big to keep warm, So of course they gave me blankets and everything else because I would help everybody. But they knew I wasn't. I was a Native American, but I was welcomed. That was good because I had a kind of a rough childhood, and that's why I moved out and went to a superb school with a very, very good education. Hardly anybody goes to this school at all. So I've done my hunts in my dreams, and now this is my hunt now to see if anybody out there is experiencing these things. It is not my nature to scientifically is I don't believe in it, but now truly after getting to know both of you and other people in the in the community, what you guys do, it's very different. Very, very different. And the key object is you have to try to understand, not in mathematics or theory, but to hear what they have to say. Because communication is a key part in the gathering we have here, because I'm learning each day from yourselves and other people that I just don't understand.
Well, yeah, you're breaking up just a little bit, but with Native American tribes, a lot of times they will adopt people. And so, you were basically adopted, whether you liked it or not. The interesting thing about Native Americans, and, they always have these stories that you see on TV. Oh, these kids got captured, and John Wayne's got to go right out there and kill all the Indians and get those captives back. Mm-hmm. But historically, what happened was that when Native Americans would capture children, they would raise them better than their own. And they would teach them everything they could teach them. And they grew up with a sense of belonging. There were a lot of captives that the Army came for that did not want to return to their past lives because they were living a better life with people that cared for them and cared about them. And they just couldn't see it. We knew one lady, if you looked at her, she looked like she was Anglo. But the story in her background was that her relative way, way back in the 1800s had been captured as a little girl, and she had red hair. And that little girl, when the soldiers would come to look for captives, she would go to the fire pit and take the ash out and put it in her hair and color her hair so that she would look wouldn't look like a redhead. And she managed to elude capture that way. A lot of the other ones, they were taken back. And imagine, you get your kids back and you try to say, okay, here's your bed, here's your room, everything is going to pick up just like it used to be. And the kid takes a blanket and goes outside and sleeps in the brush, because that's how he learned to sleep. And, there's a lot of things that happen. So I see that in a way you were adopted by that tribe. So, you are a member, you have more knowledge than a lot of other people. And, and that's a good thing. So when they tell you that, there's a reason, there is. The elders know a lot more, and a lot of times they won't even tell you where they get their information from, other than you just know they have it. And then sometimes you scratch your head and go, how did they know this? Or how did they figure this out? Or how did they have this knowledge?
And that's correct. I have, I've got from the market, I've gone to the, for the gathering of nations. A lot of time they tell me, come on, Rudy, come on up here. We have a blanket for you. We're going to lay it out and that'll be yours. And, I'll show up and I'll have drinks and hot dogs and stuff like that. Like if I'm just part of everything, And like I say, my childhood wasn't the best, but I had a really, really good time there. I've got crown dancers. I got my good friend is from Chin Lee, and I talk to him a lot. And it was a different. I just wanted to take a different path, and when I left, I remember they gave me fry bread. And when I got on the plane, I got fry bread and some kind of a taco that they made. And it was a fry bread with a, taco in them. Like I call it a taco. And they gave me, of course, socks, some clothes, and a new pair of shoes. Is Adidas shoes, or the old style, old school. And they just told me, go get out of here and go do something. And after many, many years of, school, I finally made where I'm at, and I love what I'm doing. It's just this particular thing, I just can't put a thumb to it. So I rely on you guys to help me now. I'm the student.
Yeah. Well, I have a quick question for you, Rudy.
Yeah.
Do you play any musical instruments?
I can play the saxophone and the clarinet. I've tried guitar, and I speak English, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Japanese.
They always say that people that have a background in music have a natural ability at math. I've played guitar ever since junior high. Mm-hmm. And I'm self-taught. When they had the little books, the Mel Bay, this is teach yourself guitar. Put your finger here, put your finger there. That's a C chord. And I never had any training, just playing with people. But I played professionally, and just rhythm guitar. But I love playing guitar. And I found out, all those years in school, I found out that, the teachers would tell me that I was a smart ass, that I was getting in trouble all the time, wouldn't pay attention in class. And I was shooting spit wads and drawing pictures and doing all kinds of stuff. And the teacher would get upset and say, Mr. Dover, can you tell us what we were just talking about? And I would repeat verbatim everything that was said. Mm-hmm. So now I was being a wise guy, and I got sent to the principal's office to go get a lesson from the Board of Education to the seat of knowledge. But later on, after I got out of high school, I was able to attend a technical accident investigation school. And I found out I was actually really, really good at it. I was invited back to a reconstruction course and ended up in Arizona. The Highway Patrol had the very best Reconstructionists in the state. And he took me under his wing for 4 years and taught me Reconstruction. So all of it is mathematical formulas, algebraic and trigonomic logic. And I loved it when I was doing it. I could just, you get so involved in it that you just lose all track of time. And get caught up in the numbers and the theories and everything else. You're using the weights of the vehicle, the inertia, kinetic energy, gravity, a whole bunch of things, and putting them all together and then laying it all out in a mathematical formula for the court.
Yeah, a while ago, a colleague of mine was saying what kind of math would he use? And to me, music is, of course, mathematic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's math, but I was trying to tell him that Riemann math is sort of kind of, because it has a different tone for every mathematical event, and it's usually this way. And it's an old style that they used to use on the Apollo mathematics with a math ruler, with a math, and hardly anybody knows how to do that. I don't dab in it very much, but to me it's music. When I hear music, and I like classical music, and to me it's, I hear A, B, 1, 2, 3, and I just hear numbers, and I just, okay, I got the rhythm now.
Yeah, the computer programming actually uses the same type of algorithms that music have. And so if you have a good background in reading music, you would probably make a good computer programmer.
Yeah. My daughter, my daughter's a surgeon, and when she was in high school and in junior high, she just picked up the violin, flute, clarinet, and I think it was a hobo, and just by hearing, just by hearing, just started.
Mm-hmm.
She would just go at it, and I would tell her, "How do you do this?" I said, "Dad, I got your brain." I said, "Oh, thank God."
Hopefully they got more of our brains than we do, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to bring a thought. You're talking about the trigonometry, and today 2 high school girls solved the proof for the Pythagorean theory by utilizing trigonometry.
Uh-huh.
They proved it.
Yeah.
These 2 high school girls, now they're in college, but they're in their freshman year. But these 2 young ladies, and it was a 60 minutes thing that they did, a profile they did on these 2 girls. So that theory has been proved
already.
Yeah. And for a long time when we were going through it, through college, through high school, it was 2 distinct mathematics. Now it's been proven that you can use both of them together. So that's interesting. So getting back to the subject at hand, we could go off on our mathematic. Star people. We are the star people. And we do have these encounters. And that's why we have you on the show today to share your experience for the audience. There are so many interesting things. One of the things I wanted to bring up, Rudy, is since we've been talking, and either I'm doing errands and we're talking about different things on the phone when we can, we're having some strange events today, weren't we?
Yes, we have. Yeah, everything. It was pretty weird as soon as we started talking. As soon as we were talking about several subjects, it started going a little bit berserko.
Well, I drove up to get some gas, and my car completely shut off right in front of the gas pump. And so I ran out of my car, and I was like, this doesn't happen. unless you have a dead battery or it ran out of gas. And I had some gas, believe me, but I went to go fill with a full tank, and then all of a sudden it started again. And then my card wouldn't work. I was having electronic issues. My phone was glitching. So I'm wondering if there's a correlation. I mean, John, have you ever thought about having things like that happen? Like, we're always talking about the van down the street.
Yeah.
The black van.
Yeah, things like that do happen. I know of somebody that they pass the same location near a well-known psychic spot. And when they pass that location, their car glitches, their radio goes to static. When they pick up, we'll be using something like Skyview Light to see the stars. And when we hand it to that person, you hand your phone and say, look at that. And they'll hold the phone in their hand, and the phone will just get static on it. It's just like it goes crazy. And so we always say, don't let them have it, because they'll mess up your electronics. So yeah, things like that do happen intermittently here and there, just enough to irritate you.
Yeah, and I wanted to show you something.
Sure.
And excuse me, I know it's kind of rude, but I wanted to show you today. Today, I was trying to actually plug this particular outlet, and this particular outlet is it's just a regular basic 45, maybe 90 watt Apple, right? Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you unplug it and you have no plug. Well, when I was talking with her, I usually keep my laptop on, and this has a magnetic little thing right here for the Apple. When I was talking to her, first my phone went out. It couldn't get a signal. It actually froze. I have another one that's encrypted because it's for company. That one also froze. My computer, my little thing here, while I was in the car, it told me that it was plugged in. My car does not have a plug-in in my car. It doesn't have a 115 outlet. But on my computer right here, it says that I was plugged in. But it wasn't, because I had it wrapped up. Things like that now are, since we have been talking, a lot more strange things have been happening. It's kind of like, okay, you win.
Almost like it's trying to get our attention, huh?
Yeah. I was so worried about my car, just completely, everything electronics just shut off. And right in front of the gas pump, so I was going to have the gentleman push it, and I thought, did I run out of gas? And they asked me, did you run out of gas? And I'm like, no. And the gentleman says, car started up again, because sometimes our car computers have to reset. That was the comment. And all of a sudden it just kicked on like normal.
Yep.
And also, go ahead, Rudy.
Also, I forgot to tell you, when we were sharing stories, in the morning, I had got a brand new car from Avis, came out.
Yep.
Said, oh, wow, it's brand new. Came out to the parking lot. Of course, tires had nitrogen air on it. And all four tires were completely drained of the nitrogen. They were completely flat.
Yeah.
And when we shared stories, it's kind of like, okay, what's going on here?
And it was happening real time, and I was frustrated. I was like, Rudy, my car doesn't work, electronically speaking. And then my phone started to glitch too. Mm-hmm. Remember? It
Yeah, I
started
heard
to
where
glitch as well.
you have to restart the car.
Yep, we both
And
did.
that's when I came up and we discussed it. And, I didn't bring the computer up because I don't have a plug-in in the car. There's nothing, but the computer said it had a plug. It was sitting right next to me. I don't have that. But odd things now I'm getting used to. And especially when I talk to, it happens a whole lot. It gets jammed. I break the signal. Something goes wrong. Like if they're actually listening to me. And I do have that sense that sometimes I'll be walking and I'll just feel like somebody's behind me, or in the night, somebody that's just looking down on me. I don't understand it.
Well, again, the important thing there is that they're making themselves known, to not respond in fear.
Right.
We've
Right.
been brainwashed all our lives to understand that when you talk about aliens, they're coming to conquer the earth. They're coming to kill us. They're coming to eat us. They're all these stories. Every movie, every 50s science fiction movie was all about aliens coming to take over. And so we've been taught to fear them. Just like during the 50s, we were taught about communism, and communism was going to come and attack us, and we were all going to be, have to become communists. And that didn't happen. So, a wise man once said, can you look at a situation without naming it? Naming it, making it a word causes fear.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was saying, don't name it. Accept it for what it is and just move on. But if you have an emotional response, then it's going to cloud your judgment, and you may not be able to respond appropriately to what it's trying to get your attention for.
John, well said. Well said. Rudy, I don't know where the time goes when we have these shows, but we loved having you on. And this is just the tip of the sword. And at some point, we'll get you back on because I want to know more about your experiences if there's more to come. I mean, just today was proof of them wanting just to know that they're there, and who they are, we don't know. We are the star people, and this is the encounters that you're having, that we have as paranormal rangers, and the time just goes. We just had a 4-minute lag time to tell us and that was 4 minutes ago. So it was just intriguing to hear your story, a little bit about you, but all the wonderful things that are happening in your life, just sitting here, I can feel the energy, and it's intense. In fact, I'm a little tired. What about you? What about you, John? I've been holding a crystal the whole time.
Well, I've been up since 3:30 this morning.
So that'll help.
and already went to Flagstaff and came back. That was 100 miles.
Right.
And but I did have breakfast. I stopped at IHOP because they stay open 24 hours. And so I've been going pretty much all day too. So, but yeah, we're going to have you back on. Everybody out there is going to be going, Rudy, Rudy.
Well,
Rudy.
I'm not going to take football because I'll lose completely. I won't be in the way.
Rudy,
we love having you on. So,
yeah, Rudy. Everybody in the audience out there that would like to reach out to Rudy, please contact me at the Native Paranormal Rangers at gmail.com and share experiences with him so that he knows what direction to go in and that he's not alone. Thank you, everybody, for our show today, and please come back.